For a certain group of people, seeing this name on a legal notice means it is a very, very bad day. It's all connected to allegations of online copyright infringement, usually involving adult films. And defending against that, that's a super specialized skill.
Yeah, this is not your typical legal work. It really demands a unique mix of tech knowledge and legal expertise. So this specific niche, this is our first big clue as we start to build a profile of our subject, attorney Melissa Lynn Ross.
Okay, so now that we have our hook, this super specific legal niche, let's start building out the rest of the picture. What are the basic foundational facts we can find right away on our public profiles?
17. Just that one number. That represents 17 years of experience as a licensed attorney since she was admitted to the Illinois bar. That is a long time to be honing your craft in the legal world.
Her core credentials, well, they paint a pretty clear picture. She's a senior associate at her firm, got her law degree with honors, and was inducted into the Order of the Coif. You can think of that as like the Phi Beta Kappa for top law school grads. It's a huge academic achievement. And all of that is built on an accounting degree from a top business school. So the foundation here is undeniably strong.
You've seen these, right? These little award badges all over professional profiles? They look super impressive, but what story are they actually telling us? Because let me tell you, they are not all created equal.
So here's the key thing to understand. There are really two kinds of awards. Peer awards tell you what other lawyers think about her skills and her ethics. But client awards, they show you what it's actually like to work with her. To get the full picture, you really need both sides of that coin.
Let's look at the peer side of things. Martindale-Hubbell has this really clear ladder. It kicks off with notable for ethics, then you move up to distinguished for achievement, and it all tops out at AV preeminent, which is basically the gold standard for respect among your fellow attorneys. It's a really clear sign of a growing professional reputation.
But then there's this, the Client Champion Award. Now, this one has nothing to do with what other lawyers think. This is earned directly from client feedback. It's a direct measure of customer satisfaction and service, which, let's be honest, for most of us, is the most important thing of all.
So, beyond the shiny awards and the impressive credentials, what was the actual experience like for her clients? This is where we get to the human side of all this data.
This piece of feedback right here, it highlights a skill that you're just not going to see on a diploma: communication. The ability to take all that complex legal jargon and translate it and make a client feel safe, that is just incredibly valuable.
And here's another piece to that puzzle: professional yet friendly. In a really high-stress legal situation, that combination of being competent but also approachable, that can make all the difference in the world. It really speaks volumes.
Okay, now this is one of those little details you could so easily scroll right past, but it is a huge tell. Offering appointments after normal work hours is a conscious choice. It shows she gets that her clients have jobs, they have lives, and she's willing to work around that. That is client service in action.
And here we go. This is a perfect example of why you have to do a little digging. A quick search for Melissa Ross reviews might not give you the whole story, but knowing to also look for her maiden name, Melissa Brabender, well, that unlocks a whole other treasure trove of data and testimonials.
All right, so let's take a step back. We've gathered clues from different places, right? A legal directory, her firm's website, client reviews. Now it's time to put all of those pieces together and see what kind of three-dimensional profile we can build.
So if we had just stopped at her main directory profile, we'd probably think, okay, this person is a hyper-focused specialist. And that's an accurate picture, but it's not the complete picture.
But when you check out her bio on the firm's website, it reveals this much broader expertise. We're talking everything from employment and drone law to contracts. This shows a versatility that goes way beyond that initial niche, and it proves why it's so important to cross-reference your sources. And then, buried deep in that full bio, is this little nugget. She's obtained multiple six-figure judgments for her clients. Now, that's not just a credential or a review. That is a hard data point that shows a track record of serious, high-stakes success.
And that's really what it all boils down to. We started with this weird little niche practice area, we added her foundational credentials, we decoded what the awards really mean, we listened to what clients had to say, and we pulled together data from a bunch of different sources. We didn't just read the summary, we read the whole story.
So, now you've got the framework. Look for that hook, build the foundation, decode the awards, listen for the human experience in the reviews, and always, always cross-reference. Because the real story of any professional, it's always there. You just have to know how to read between the lines.